Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Um, in last video I actually unboxed this palette, which is the Eternal Twilight palette from ODEN'S, and today I want to kind of do like a 3 looks video with this, but I'm kind of in a hurry, so let's see if we can get this done. I first want to make a look with the warm side and the cool side, like you know, use them on its own, and then I want to actually make a look where I combine the two sides. So I'm starting off with the shade Daylight, obviously from the lighter side, and I'm just putting that on my crease, which is like a nice beachy shade. And then I think I just use, ooh, this is so big. I just used this, and now I'm gonna go into that shade called Splend. And I'm just gonna, build that into that same crease. Okay, that blends like itself. That's wonderful. So now I'm gonna go into the shade Afterglow. That seems to be like more of an orangey middle shade. And I'm just gonna diffuse the whole color and then go back into Splend and blend it out a little bit. Now, before I do any shimmers, I want to take the shade Warmness because I want to show you as many shades, which is the bright pink, and I'm going to put that in the inner corner where you can't see at all what I'm doing, like that. So we have now pink in the inner corner and maybe also a little bit in the outer corner. Why not? So we have some pink on the edges now. I don't know if you can see. That's what we're working with. Let's take a little bit of Daylight again and just blend that into those pink shades. So far so great. Now what I really wanted to use was that shade right here called Balder. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but this one right here, and I don't know if you can see because I just swatched it, but there's like all specks of like all kinds of color in there. So I expect this to be a multi-chrome. Oh my god, that is gorgeous. Like, I don't know if you can see the look of that, but that's really pretty. And to finish off this look, I think I'm gonna go with Luminosity, which is like a pink to purple shift. Wait, I'm gonna show you both of these on my fingers so you can actually see the shifts a bit better. And I'm also gonna put that on the outer corner because that's how I would wear it. Now let's finish off the look with some inner corner fun. Let's get the bright brush and some liner. So for the inner corner, I'm gonna take the shade Illusion, which is this light shade over here. Ooh, I'm really trying to show you, but also do this so quickly. And I'm just gonna put that right there over that pink shade in the inner corner. Now let's take out my liner brush. Ooh, we're doing this really quickly. Okay, there's not really a shade that I would wear as liner, but I'm gonna go for the darkest shade on this side called Final. And I'm just gonna put that on as liner. That's this brown right here, which isn't that dark. But, maybe I should scooch over so I can show you guys more easily this side. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm actually liking the shade of the liner as well. It's a little bit more soft focused. Okay, so that's the first side done. I didn't use the shade Solar nor Destiny, Moment, Final, and Guard. So if you want to see a look with those shadows, please let me know. But this is the warm toned Daylight side. Let's do the other eye with the more gray tones. I'm gonna use the same brush, but I'm gonna clean it off real quick. And then I'm gonna, ooh, what should we do? Okay, I want to start off with ashes. Now, I'm gonna go over to the other side so you guys can actually see. I'm gonna go in with ashes, which is the gray tone shade. And I'm just gonna lay that down. I love a good gray tone, but it doesn't always look good on me. So I'm curious to see if it does with this palette. So far, so great. Just laying that ashes shade down. And then I'm gonna go back into Hotter, which is a blue toned gray. And I'm just gonna blend that into that crease again. That's really pretty. Now, for the purpose of using as many shades, I'm going to take the shade Escape, which is like a gray tone lilac. I'm just going to try and put that a little bit in the inner corner. That's pretty. I should probably have cleaned off my brush before I did that, but and I'm just going to blend that in a bit because I think it's really, really pretty. Ooh, this is becoming bold. Then let's go into the shade Black, which honestly, funnily enough, isn't a black. It's like a dark gray. But they also have Blackest, so that's that, you know, they kind of like, I think it's supposed to not be totally black. So that is the crease a little bit defined with that shade. Now let's put some shimmers on and then actually line with Blackest. In this side, there's also one of those, like, can we call it pixelated, like almost pixelated shades? And I really obviously want to put that on. It's like a blue to gold. That's really pretty. I'm never gonna get this off my eyes in a second, but we'll see. And then I kind of want to use the shade Void, which is this purple, as an inner and outer corner color. And then let's use a little bit of Plot, which is this dark purple right here, to put right on the middle of the eye. That's really, really pretty. My eye is tearing up like crazy. But honestly, because the darkness of this look, I would not necessarily line this. This is what that, ooh, blending work right here isn't, okay, that's better. That is very, very pretty. Okay, I'm gonna wash this off and then put a look together with both of them. Stay tuned. Okay, and now let's do the look where we blend both of the sides together. And for that, I really want to go into the shade Ashy right here, which is a kind of a grayish green. And I'm gonna put that in the inner corner and do the same on the other side. Like that. That's really pretty. Let's build that up a little bit more. What I really like about the ODEN'S eye shades is that you can actually build them up quite, you know, well, and that you don't really need much like crazily blending to get where you want to be with the shades. I'm now taking the shade Warmness, that pink that I just used in the other look. I could just use the shade that I didn't in like the last looks, but I kind of want to also try to make like a look that I will, like, I'm gonna wear this for the entire day, so I want it to look decent. But I am using Destiny, which is this shade that I just did not use, that nude shade, to blend those two into one another. And I think that's going really well. Now I am going to go back into that green shade because I feel like it's allowed to pop a little bit more, especially on this side. And then also brighten up a little bit over here. Like that. That's really, really pretty. Now let's use Destiny a little bit more to blend those two into one another. And use that pink a little bit more to pop on the outer eye, a little bit higher up into the brow bone. Okay. Then let's use, I'm gonna take the shade Guard. That's the neutral shade that I just didn't use the shimmer one. Ooh, this is more of a taupe shade. Let's put that in the center because we have that matte shade in the center too, and I like to kind of color coordinate. So that's what we're gonna start with in the center. And then I'm gonna take the pink shimmery shade called Luminosity, and I'm actually gonna put that on the outer corner. So we have the corresponding shade there as well. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna come together. I'm quite scared. And then for the green, I'm not gonna use the dark green in my inner corner, but I am gonna take this shade, this silver. Oh, that's very pigmented. And I'm just gonna put that in the inner corner. That's pretty, that's pretty. I really do like that. Let's see if we can add something more. I am actually gonna take this shade because that seems to shift even more pink than the shade I just put on the pink side. And I'm just gonna put that on there. Oh, make sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Look at that, that's a little bit more pink. Okay, so my eyelid is very bright right now, and so I do want to do some liner, and I'm gonna take the shade Blackest for that, which I didn't use in my previous looks. And I'm just gonna stamp that eyeshadow on as liner. Honestly, I don't really ever use normal liner. I just use eyeshadow as liner because it's way more foolproof. Like if I make a mistake, I can like go over with shadow, clean it up, and with like a liquid liner, you're like pretty much stuck with it. Can't really work over it. So that's kind of why I like using shadow for that purpose. Are we even? No, we're not. Let's just blacken this up and make this a little bit higher. I think now we're pretty much even. Let's blend those edges out a bit. Now let's use my finger because we have like two different edges. Okay, so this is the like together look finished. I am now gonna put on mascara and then be back with my final verdict. Okay, so I put mascara on and fixed my brows because half of them were off, but honestly, I really enjoy this palette. I really enjoy the versatility, and I haven't even used all of the shades. I'd love to make like a more neutral look as well. Use this green and this blue. So I'm not done playing with this palette. I really think it's a good quality palette. There's lots of different formulas in there. I really like the lightness of the makeup I just did, but also the darkness and the brightness of the other two looks. So I hope you enjoyed this type of video. If you want to see even more looks with this palette, please let me know. Thank you for joining me in this like hurried speed review kind of style. And if you like these type of videos, don't forget to subscribe, like, all of that stuff. And I hope you keep joining me on this channel. Bye!